on page 3 now, in problem 5, and I may do a separate video just for this problem 5 because it's pretty involved. The first step, and I'm doing it on a separate sheet of paper because there's just not enough room over to the right of the problem. First step is rewrite the radicals in exponent form. See, these are different indices, square root and fifth root. That's what makes this problem problematic. I'm going to rewrite this AB to the sixth to the 1/2 power. Square root is equivalent to raising something to the 1/2 power. Fifth root is the same as raising to the 1/5 power. So I'm going to rewrite this a squared b in parentheses to the 1/5. Okay, I can move this out of the way and concentrate here. We want to get these fraction exponents to have a common denominator, so remember that 1/2 and 1/5 can both be changed to a denominator 10. 1/2 is the same as 5/10, and 1/5 is the same as 2/10. Times the top and bottom of that by 5, you get 5/10. Times the top and bottom of that by 2, you get 2/10. So I'm going to do this rewrite again. AB to the sixth to the, instead of 1/2, I'm using 5/10. And downstairs, a squared b, instead of 1/5, I'm writing 2/10. Okay. Next, I remove the parentheses, remembering that if I have something to this power out here, I'll just attach that exponent to the a, and here I'll multiply, power of a power, we multiply. Hopefully everybody remembers that. So a to the 5/10 and b to the 6 times 5/10 is 30/10. And then downstairs we have a to the 2 times 2/10 is 4/10. And b to the 2/10. Okay. Now, if we just had a to a power over a to a power in the old days, we would say, well, where's the larger power of a? That's where it stays in our answer, and we subtract exponents, and we can do that same thing here. It's just a little crazier because it's fractions instead of integers. But 5/10 is bigger than 4/10, so we'll keep the a in the top. And 5/10 subtract 4/10, we get 1/10. And the larger power of b is in the numerator. 30/10 is way larger than 2/10, so we'll subtract 30/10, take away 2/10. See, that's why we wanted to have the common denominator, so we could do this subtraction step. b to the 28/10. And there's no denominator anymore. We could put a 1 there, but that looks silly. We don't really need a fraction format anymore. So our answer so far, a to the 1/10, b to the 28/10. Now, we notice this is a proper fraction. This is an improper fraction. We can switch back to radical form right here and then try to simplify the way we did a week ago. But we could also notice that b to the 28 over 10 can be rewritten like this. See if this makes sense. 10 goes into 28 twice, so I could just rewrite that 2 and 8/10, b to the 2 and 8/10 power, which is the same as b to the 2 plus 8/10 power, which is the same as b squared times b to the 8/10. So I've got a to the 1/10, b squared, b to the 8/10. And now just these fractions need to change back to radical form. I'll put the b squared out in front. And why not? Let me spread this out in as granular detail as possible. Hopefully not lose anyone. See, these are both the denominator 10. That's equivalent to saying take the 10th root of a to the 1, or just a, b to the 8th. Okay. Now, if you didn't follow this whole argument over here, or you just plain don't like it, I understand. What if we just switch back to radical format right here? I would write 10th root of a to the 1, or just a, b to the 28. This would get you partial credit. You did most of the work, most of the hard work, but remember that simplified radical, the exponent has to be less than the index. So if we take the b aspect of this by itself, 10th root of b to the 28th all by itself, and simplify it, what's the biggest exponent we can get here that's divisible by 10? And that would be 20. So what's left over is the b to the 8th. Still has to stay under the radical sign. What becomes of this? This is going to be b to the 20 divided by 10 is b squared. So see, there's your b squared again. So now this goes outside. This stays under the radical. And you get that same final result, b squared, 10th root of a, b to the 8th power. Okay, so that's question 5 on page 3. I'm going to stop this video and make a new one for the other questions on page 3.